And we back, y'all. Hey, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not gonna happen this video, but that's all right. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me as always is my girl, Mrs. Beth. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, and happiest of Thursdays. Like the video, share the video to spread the word, subscribe to James's channel. He does great content and has more shows to come. Just do it.
Yes. And also, while you're subscribing to me, go ahead and click the link in my description box to subscribe to Mrs. Best's channel. Her information is right here, as well as in my description box in case you're just here to watch. So I appreciate y'all, but that's my girl. You know, she be killing it on YouTube as well. Any recaps or reviews we don't do on my channel, we'll do on her channel. So that includes Basketball Wives, Love and Hip Hop, both Atlanta, and if they do bring back Miami. We also have more shows to come on her channel too, so make sure you subscribe. But you guys are here for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode 1, Costume or Couture, as the women said in this episode. I'm going to be real with y'all. I didn't want to recap this show, mainly because I don't like what they did last season, and I don't like what was revealed last season, including with Heather. So going forward on these recaps, I will not be talking about Heather unless she's included in another scene with one of the other ladies, which so far has been this episode. So she didn't have any scenes by herself. I won't be mentioning it. I will say Heather's name and then move on to the next person because I don't see it for Heather anymore. What they did, and they then decided, Bravo, especially in that call center, to allow Heather to come back another season after what was revealed of what she did. If that was anybody on the Black franchises, they would have been fired immediately. So the fact that Heather still has a job, hey, Bravo, congratulations. But I won't be discussing her on my channel. So I just want to make everybody aware. If you love Heather, then this may not be the channel for you, which is fine. You're welcome to bow at any time. But I will not be talking about Heather on my channel. So I just want to make sure that's clear. And I'll give a couple disclaimers as the episode go on, but I won't be talking about Heather. So joining us now that we are opening this season, the ladies have some dramatic montage opening. Whatever, I don't really care. But the scene actually opens up with Lisa. Lisa is throwing this event that is Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day inspired. She's getting all of her girlfriends and she's telling the ladies to bring a +1 as well so that they can celebrate their friends too and, have a nice event. Very cute idea. We've seen this on reality TV shows all throughout. So very nice event. So Lisa makes a statement that she loves most of the ladies and some not so much, and she's talking about Whitney. So we see as she's at the event space a scene that they did a few weeks back with Heather and Angie, and she's saying that she did invite Whitney, however, she's not in a great place with Whitney due to a podcast interview that Whitney had did. Now, Whitney on this podcast said that Lisa is the new villain and that Lisa really doesn't take accountability, which where is the lie? Mrs. Best, question number 1. Do you think Whitney was wrong in this podcast? She was answering a question that was true. So how do you feel about that?
No, she wasn't wrong. I don't like Whitney either, but in this situation, I can't say that she was wrong. And she's not said anything that nobody else on the cast has said about Lisa either.
Exactly. So Lisa getting mad at Whitney was just kind of like, you really don't have nothing going on, huh? Okay, Lisa, whatever. So it's the moment of the event. Guests are starting to arrive. First people to start to arrive are at least Angie and Mary. And in their confessionals, they don't know how their relationship began. Angie has an idea that it started with her telling Mary she had lipstick on her teeth at the reunion. And then Mary turned around and said, well, she does like Angie, and she gave her a chance, and they have been hanging out a lot, in between the seasons. So when they come back to this season, they're showing up together, and everyone's pretty surprised about it. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Lisa, Angie and Mary's newfound friendship?
It surprised me because I was like, oh, but I'm not surprised. Mary really is sweet deep down. You just got to show her once that you're looking out for her, and she seems to change for the better. But I'm just glad they're getting along because Angie's annoying as hell in general. But to beef with, I mean, she's exhausting to watch. I can imagine dealing with her.
Yes. I was pretty shocked by it as well. It actually made Angie a bit more likable being in Mary's conscience than she was with all the other girls, mainly Lisa. So as other women are getting there, we have this very crazy introduction to Bronwyn. Now, Bronwyn is the newest housewife. I should have put their picture. I'll do that next episode. Bronwyn is the newest housewife. She was also raised Mormon. We understand that she's married to a man that is 28 years older than her. She has stepkids that they're older than her, and she has one daughter. She also has a brand called Funny Chaotic. And one thing I could say about Bronwyn is that I did like her immediately after this episode. I thought she was funny, she was quirky, and I'll explain more as we go on in the episode. But for the most part, I do like Bronwyn. How did you feel the introduction to Bronwyn went for you, Mrs. Best?
Um, I didn't dislike her. I also didn't like her. So I think I'm gonna give her a few episodes before I can form an opinion about her. But I did not dislike her. I also did not like her. So I don't know where I'm at with her right now.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Now I'm giving Brown a lot of grace because she made me laugh this episode. There was a couple of scenes where I'm just like, okay, I see where they were going with her. I see why she made it on the main cast because she definitely was one. She stood out in probably one of the best ways because whenever someone on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City comes about, with the exception of Monica, they're always like someone that just kind of like fits in. Like we see them just in the middle. They're just there. Monica started this, and then Brown was kind of coming on strong as well. So I can't wait to see what her family dynamic is like, and I can't wait to see her
I
interaction with her husband.
I
Mhm.
can't wait to see. I really don't care about any of that because all these women are bougie or married to old men, and it's boring to watch them with their men. I'm interested to see when her and Lisa's friendship will fall apart because Bronwyn's personality is stronger and it's more genuine.
Mhm.
Lisa
Absolutely.
gives fake, 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 and she seems a little bit racist on the low. That is my personal opinion. So I'm interested to see how things change within their friendship once the audience receives Bronwyn.
And I think the audience are going to receive Bronwyn well because so far she hasn't been, and this is only first episode, y'all, but so far I don't see her being problematic. So we'll see how that goes. Um, Heather shows up. Moving on. Um, as they're going on to there, Heather asked Lisa, "Did you invite Whitney?" And she said, "Yeah." And is she here yet? And they're like, "No." So then we have a scene of Whitney in the car with her friend. I don't remember her friend's name because it doesn't really matter because her friend was just there. But she was saying that, things are weird between her and the girls. Like New York was a lot and a lot was revealed. And Whitney tells us that, in her personal life with her husband, her kids, everything is wonderful. She just bought a brand new house and, things are going well, but she can't say the same for the lady. So when Whitney gets there, she doesn't say hi to Lisa immediately. She just goes over to kind of everyone else and hugs her and everything. And Heather is working the room. Heather is going up to Lisa, say, "Hey, did Whitney talk to you?" She goes, "No." And then she goes over to Meredith. Meredith gets there with her friend as well, and she goes, "Hey, have you talked to Whitney?" And she goes, "No." And then we learn what Meredith's problem with Whitney is. So Meredith's problem with Whitney is this: Meredith was pretty much saying that she was going to release like a bath loungewear and include bath bombs, and Whitney just recently put out bath bombs. So it was kind of like, we're mad over some bath bombs. That's all we had to beef about. That Whitney came out with a line of bath bombs. I said, Meredith, with you sitting in that bed with your deflated lip, you mad over some damn bath bombs. Yeah, I'm not gonna see it for Meredith this season. I already can tell the way this is going. I'm not seeing it for Meredith. And and I like Meredith. I do. Sometimes she comes correct, but this is one of the times where I'm just like, Meredith, come on, this is business. This is e-commerce. Everybody has the same ideas. If your bath bombs are really legit, they're gonna outdo Whitney's bath bombs. That's how I would look at it. But I'm like, why is you mad? She goes, she's coming from me, and she's coming from my demure, and my aspiring to just have fitness ventures and stuff. Talking this to Heather, and I'm just like, oh God, Meredith, please, not this season. Please do something else, please. How did you feel about Meredith's reason to be for Whitney?
It was stupid. Heather has a reason. Angie has a reason. Everyone has like a valid reason to not like her, except for Meredith. Meredith does this season after season. So I have watched this show since season one. I stopped after the Jenny Nguyen chick, but came back to it once Monica was there. But I've never liked Meredith. I cannot. She is every example of just privileged in like the snootiest way. It's really, really annoying. She doesn't want anybody to know anything about her life, but she's on a reality show and she's always grasping at the grass, not even straws. Just she's grasping at air and the grass and straws and all types of stuff, trying to find a reason to be upset. Like bath bombs is something that I'm sure anybody who's in skincare is likely selling in my experience because it has something to do with the skin. Separate from that, why is one person selling bath bombs like a threat to your business? We saw something similar on Potomac when I cannot remember her name.
It was
The grand
Wendy.
dog. The grand dog. Karen. With the candles. Like we saw the same thing. Karen went and, start making a candle. And it was clearly because Wendy was making candles and was successful. But Wendy didn't freak out, even though that was the reason. So to me, this is part of the reason I don't like Salt Lake City and am only here for James, y'all. Like for me, like this show, and Dubai struggles with this as well, but like this is really what y'all arguing about. That's why people said Monica is the show. Because these women didn't have nothing, and this show was boring as hell prior to Monica getting on the show. Prior to that, other than that, we had an angry Asian lady who was racist. So I'm really Meredith. They need to replace Meredith, I think. I don't think she blends with this cast. I don't think she has any more genuine friendships that are strong. And I feel like she's just looking for stuff to be mad at so that she can stay relevant on the show. But let's keep it real. This is an old lady. Okay. This is a senior citizen. Meredith needs to take her money and go with Seth and whoever her kids are, the dog. She needs to just go and, get lost in the mountain. I don't know. Walk the prairie. But I don't want to see Meredith on this show no more.
I agree. I don't want to see her either. I feel like for me, Meredith, her beefs are stupid. It's like, come on, you can't be mad over no bath bomb. Like, I know you're not mad over no bath bomb. So before we get to her confronting Whitney, we had this hilarious scene with Bronwyn and Mary. So this is the duo I want to see the rest of the season. So they were talking about each other's fashions. Bronwyn says, I love your coat because I have it. And Bronwyn, they put on the screen that she had a Yves Saint Laurent jacket. I'm saying that wrong, but it's $15,000. She said the only three people have them. A museum has it, Rihanna has it, and she has it. So Heather's friend, Brittany, I think that's her name. We're going to call her Brittany because I don't remember her. Brittany comes over and sits in between Mary and Bronwyn. And she goes, oh, Bronwyn, I love your costume. And they both looked at her like, this ain't no costume. This is couture. And then they were like, and Bronwyn said, if you're going to sit with me and Mary, you got to come correct. You can't, when it comes to fashion, you can't be insulting us like this. Child, Mary was like, in her confessional, I laughed so hard. Mary said, who is this? Mary is crazy. But it was so funny. With, hold on, sorry about that. I got my family there. But so she was saying, I grew up poor. Mary was giving a story about she has 5 siblings and, her collecting fashion because she wasn't afforded clothes and stuff. And so Brittany was like, yeah, I grew up poor. And Mary said, oh, I didn't grow up poor. I didn't say that. I just said, and Problem was cracking when she goes, see, we need to give Brittany some of the thesaurus because she is really not good with her words. Like she's insulting this lady. She goes, and then Brittany said, I remember I had to put bread in my purse and stuff like that. And Mary was like, we don't put food in our purses. And Bravo was starting to agree with Brittany, but you could tell Bravo was just doing it to make it less awkward. But Mary wasn't buying it. Mary was like, okay. So I'm about to get up from here and just walk out. And Brittany's like, I know I've offended her. And it was like, it wasn't the fact that you offended her. You was trying to be silly and goofy and at both of their expenses. Bronwyn too. But you were trying to relate in a way that's not relatable. And I feel like I see this a lot. I feel like I see white women do this a lot where they try to make themselves relatable, but it comes off offensive. How did you feel about Brittany and her interaction with Bronwyn and Mary?
Um, I don't like talking in circles, so I'll just be direct. Salt Lake City is not a city where you're gonna see a whole bunch of black people. It's just not. It's a city where you're gonna see a lot of Caucasian people, white people, whatever the hell you want to call them. And nothing is wrong with that. And a lot of them do not be racist, but there's a such thing as microaggressions. And sometimes they're intentional, sometimes they're unintentional. I don't feel like Brittany meant no harm. And once I see that somebody don't mean no harm as a black woman, especially one that works in corporate America now, like sometimes it's like if you know somebody don't mean no harm, then fine, let it be. But at the same time, Mary did like paint it and say it in a way that would kind of make you think that she did grow up poor, because if you didn't, then why say it in that way? So I can understand why Brittany would say that. I do feel like she was trying to relate to her, but she just did it in an awkward ass way. But I liked how Bronwyn handled it. Instead of like ganging up to make fun of the girl, she still tried to help give the girl some grace. So that was a good sign because I hate like pick me follower type people, especially on reality TV. Like, don't just follow what the next person's doing because you think it's a popularity contest. But yeah, Brittany, I don't know what the hell was wrong with her this whole episode. I hope we're not going to have to see her the whole season. That's what I'll say.
Me too, because she wasn't a win for me. This was an epic fail. Bravo. I don't know. And this is Heather's friend, of course. So, of course, this is what we're going to get when it comes to Heather. So, yeah, I wasn't feeling her. And I can so well see your point that she really wasn't trying to be intentionally like rude, but it just came off that way. Mary took everything to heart. So, of course. So, we have this scene where Meredith pulls Whitney aside. And once again, they're having this conversation about New York and Whitney bringing up this bath bomb. And Whitney tells Meredith, I've been selling bath bombs. That's how I started my business. I've been doing this way before. She goes, oh no, that's not what was presented to me. I sell your products in my store. She said, yes, you sell the skincare. It was really inappropriate for me to offer bath bombs when you sell jewelry. Now, to some degree, I understood where Whitney was coming from because that would be weird to see bath bombs in a jewelry store. Like skincare, I think is even pushing it even further. But Meredith had no room to be angry about her selling bath bombs. Like, what was the big deal? I still didn't understand Meredith's point. Like, I felt like Meredith was going around in circles trying to make something prevalent, and it just wasn't. It was like, what does that matter? If your bath bombs are great, they're gonna do great. And if Whitney's bath bombs are great, they're gonna do great. Y'all both are on a show where y'all equally can, promote them. So I don't understand what the issue is. Meredith makes some out of nothing. I'm telling you, that was irritating to watch. So moving from there, Angie brings her behind up and says, oh, Meredith, can I have a moment with you too? And Meredith at this point was annoyed. You could tell. So Angie says that I was told about a conversation with Heather that you had with her that you felt like you needed an apology. And I felt like I'm owed an apology for the things that happened last year. So Angie goes to her purse and pulls out this scroll and drops it and says, this is what you need to be apologizing for. Now, we learned later on that Angie intended it for it to be a joke and that she was just looking for one apology. But Meredith has no sense of humor and takes everything so serious that she wasn't even buying the moment. And everyone's laughing at Angie because it's like, where the hell did you get a scroll from? Like, you got too much time on your hands, which I agree. Like, Angie, where did you get that from? Why did you even do this? This is best. When she pulled out that scroll, what was your first reaction to
that? It did not land. You're not a legendary housewife, Angie, and you never will be. I'm sorry. You just won't. I don't understand why she wrote it on a scroll. I feel like she did that just to have a moment for the camera. And it was so obvious for me that it was like disingenuous. And I kind of got that energy from the rest of the cast. They are desperate to have a moment that's going to make them like memorable or likable now that Monica is gone, in my opinion. They worry. They talked about it at the reunion. We worry for our jobs now because people are upset that she's gone and all this stuff. The scroll to me was so disingenuous. It was extra. I did not understand it. And the way that Angie be coming at people anytime she has a problem or wants an apology, Angie, nobody is responding, baby girl, because you're just whining and bitching. It's something about the way she said, and I deserve an apology. I have a daughter. If you're really that fucking offended, you stop hanging out with them and you do a little more. So in case people can't tell, I don't like Angie. I don't know why she's still here, but good for her on getting a scroll. She could have at least wrote the shit in a nice font. It looked like she
Right, or
wrote
you
it
could
in
have
a red
printed it
Sharpie.
out. Yeah, like I don't know why you wrote it, handwritten shit. It was some you and your daughter did on like crafts night or something. Like it was really weird. I don't like Angie either, and I told you I didn't like Angie from season 2 or season whenever she came on the show. Season 3, I think. As I said, they kept the wrong girl. I wanted Dana to come back. If anybody was coming back, that's who I wanted to come back, and I still want Dana to come back. But Dana said she ain't coming back to the show. So we can forget about it. And I said, damn, Dana, you disappointed me, but that's okay. I understand. So Lisa gathers everyone around because she's about to serve them dinner. And she gathers the main cast on the right of her. And she goes, these are my girlfriends and I love them. And then she singles out Whitney. She says, me and you need to talk about that podcast, but we'll do that later. And she goes, I love everybody. And here's your dinner. And then they screechingly roll up the garage door, and it's this beautiful table that is set, and everyone has a placement. So as the ladies are walking in, everyone's trying to find their place, and Mary was like, "Oh, where's mine?" And Mary realizes that she's sitting next to Brittany, the lady that just offended her. And Mary said, "Oh my God, no! Why do I have to sing?" So she's telling Angie to switch her place. And Angie's not yet catching the context clue because Brittany found her place. She goes, "Oh, I'm right here." And Mary got immediately annoyed, and I started laughing so hard because I was like, "Mary, it is not gonna kill you to sit next to this girl. You ain't even got to talk to her." And so all the ladies take their seats at the table, and Whitney gets right to the punch. She's like, "Lisa, what was that about? Like, why would you call me out in front of all those people about this podcast? Like, what is that about?" And so, once again, Lisa had to make it a bigger moment than what it was. She goes, "You know what? If you were my friend, you would not try to exploit me with your disappropriate behavior on that podcast by calling me a villain. Like, you're supposed to be my friend and you're calling me a villain and all this." And it's just like, oh my God. It's like, Lisa, really? Really? Like, come on. It's not that big of a deal. Like, it really wasn't. Like, she's only saying her experience of how she feels about you. And you taking it to that level of extent. Now, when I look at back at last season, I was all like, y'all friendship was just her trying to get in with you to go against Heather. That's all that was. So it's like, I don't understand what the point is. They both were using you for the exact same thing. So for you to feel like that was just some deep down friendship was just crazy as hell. Her sitting there just throwing that big ass tantrum. And somehow it then diverts to Angie and Meredith. And Meredith was talking about how, Angie was talking about how she was telling Monica that you can sue someone and get her home. Monica can sue Angie because Monica did a Scarlett takes a tumble down her stairs. So pretty much Meredith told Monica to sue her and get her house. Now, did Meredith say that? I don't think she said that. And I do believe that Meredith said it's liability and Angie can't be held accountable, which she could because it is an accident prone in someone else's home. You can sue someone for that. But I don't think she said you could sue her and get her a house. I really don't. I think Monica threw that out of proportion. But it stuck with Angie. And Bronwyn was trying to kind of say, okay, well, Angie, look, she said she didn't say it. Can we just draw a line in the sand and say, hey, let's just move on from here? And Angie's not getting the context. So Angie is still going on. She goes, no, she said she could take my house and it's all about my house. Like, I have a family. I have a daughter. I have a husband. She can't talk about my house. Ron was like, okay, but we're going to move on from that, Angie. Like, we're going to go ahead and move on from that. We're not going to. And I was cracking up because Bronwyn was so calm. Like, it was so petty. She was like, okay, Angie, like, come on. Like, that shit ain't that damn serious. You're still in your house today. Like, it is not that big of a deal that she said that because the girl didn't sue you. So what the hell is you mad about? That's what Bronwyn wanted to say. Like, I'm reading Bronwyn's energy. Like, she was like, girl, you're doing too much. So it then comes out, I think what ended up happening is Whitney ended up saying something that only either not Whitney, Heather or Angie could have told Whitney. So she goes, well, who opened their mouth about this? And she looks at Angie and Heather. It had to be you or you. Who did it? And we're all looking, and Whitney was looking in Heather's direction, and I knew for sure Heather told her. So when they flashed back the scene of when it was Angie that came to the door, it was like, oh, damn, Angie spilled the beans? I'm not surprised by it, but I was like, damn, I thought for sure Heather did it. So they showed the scene of where Angie was saying about the conversation that her, Lisa, and Heather were having and how she was disappointed about the podcast. And so I was like, damn, not Angie. So now Lisa has a problem with Angie because she goes, well, why would you tell her about the conversation? I was like, well, what difference does it make? Y'all going to be on the same show. She was going to find out eventually. So, Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that opening scene?
Monica is still causing problems and has them in shambles, and she's not even part of the show anymore. She's not even here. And they arguing over some stuff that she said. So they were so busy trying to take away any credibility from Monica at the reunion that it took away from other stuff being filmed that could have been shown, such as the fact that some of what Monica was saying, some of the things that she was doing actually did interrupt some of the relationships amongst the ladies, which proves that not everything that Monica said was a lie. I'm not saying she has to come back to the show, but I'm just saying clearly y'all is arguing over something that somebody y'all want us to view as not being credible said. If this person is not credible, and you could come together and say that's get her off the show, then why would anybody be upset or arguing over anything that Monica said or alleged, since she's not credible to y'all? So to me, and I don't like Angie. I just don't. I just don't. I just don't. I just can't seem to side with her at all. I have a daughter. Bitch, so does millions of other people. You are not the only person with a daughter. It's just like, my God, if it rains when her daughter was expecting the sun to shine, it's somebody's fault. So I'm come on, ladies. I
Right.
was with Bronwyn. Like, move on.
Yes, Bronwyn kept. It was Bronwyn's expressions for me, and it was her trying to be like, "Well, Angie, like, move on. Like, it is not that you got your house, you in your shit. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, Bronwyn, I was Bronwyn at the table. Like, it was just crazy. So when it goes back to Whitney, and we realize that Angie was the one that said it, and Lisa is pissed. She throwing the glass and stuff, and it was so dramatic. She's standing up. She's all like, no, because you're a fake person and all this and that. And then you have Heather, because by this point, Lisa's called Whitney a liar. And she goes, I didn't lie about anything. That's my experience. And so Heather's interjecting. She says, no, you do lie. You lied about the section in my book about how that was a made up experience. And Whitney was like, okay, me and you have a separate issue. I'm not even going to get into that. We'll have a separate conversation for that. And here come Meredith with her wrinkle, talking about, yeah, and you stole this bath bomb from me. You're a liar. And then you accuse me of having a rental property and shit. I was like, well, Meredith, you do. Damn. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You don't live in Salt Lake full time, allegedly. You live in New York part of the time. So I was like, to me, I don't like y'all. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Whitney at all. But the three of them ganging up on her. Heather's doing it because she's trying to be up Lisa ass this season. That's already evident and clear. And then Meredith's doing it because she's mad about the bath bomb shit, which is stupid. So none of them have any valid reason to really be mad at Whitney. So Whitney got fed up and threw Lisa the middle finger and said, I'm done because you're not going to use my trauma against me. So fuck you, and I'm getting up out of here. And I was like, thank you, Whitney. Whitney, I might actually like you this season. I don't know. That's a hard pill to swallow based on how you move. But I respected Whitney for that. So Whitney gets up. Angie and Whitney's friend, who she brought to the party, they walk her out. Whitney said, I'm done. I ain't got no time for this. I feel how I feel. Fuck if you don't like it. And walked right on out. And I said, thank you. I said, finally someone stood up to Lisa. Because to me, as I said, that podcast, that shit she said was not that damn bad. Lisa is the villain half the time. Lisa always makes shit about herself. Yes, she does. She's a narcissist, allegedly. Because I can't diagnose her with that. So I'm gonna say allegedly to protect my channel. But Lisa is a lot on this show. We done watched her for 5 seasons. We know what we dealing with. So it was like Whitney didn't say nothing that the rest of the public do not feel already. Go ahead up somewhere with that, Lisa. So that was pretty much the end of this season. It looked like it's gonna be crazy. It wasn't boom like season 4, episode 1. That shit was fire. This is giving.
I
No.
actually felt differently and felt like Whitney deserved everything she got. Yeah, it may have been wrong for them to gang up on her, but she's often the main person leading the charge of ganging up on other people season after season after season. So I feel like it's finally catching up with her, but now that they've said their piece and have been mad, I don't want to see them continue to gang up on her. But as for Lisa specifically, her issue with Lisa, I feel like Lisa, shut up, please.
You
You are
make a
so
great
sad.
point. Yeah, you make a great point about that. You do. You make an excellent point because yes, it is shit that is catching up. I feel like with the Heather shit, to me, that was wrong time. Heather just wanted to interject it to be on Lisa's side because they both are vying for her friendship for whatever reason. I guess it's the cool thing to do is be Lisa Barlow's friend. I guess Meredith shit is stupid. I don't care. Meredith had no right. I don't care what anyone says. Meredith should have sat there and ate her food.
Yep. But
That's
that's why I say Meredith don't need to be on this show. She just yells when she can to keep a check. I don't.
Because if we keep it real, the only issue I felt like had any prevalence to making Whitney feel a certain kind of way was the situation with Mary that Meredith brought up. That's the only situation I feel like of all of them that had prevalence to
that. When
that.
she accused her of being and leading a cult, she downed her religion. She did a lot that was actually extremely negative. So that's why I say she got, in my opinion, what was coming to her, that she never really was fully accountable from that, aside from being called little girl by Mary. So it's like, all right, y'all unleashed on her, now move on.
Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%. So that's all that happened, y'all. That's all that really happened. I'm going to keep it for as long as I can. So far, Bronwyn, I like her so far. She was the only one that really made me laugh aside from Mary and her confessional. I'm not seeing it for Lisa. I'm not seeing it for Angie. I'm not seeing it for Whitney. I'm not seeing it for Heather. I'm not seeing it for Meredith. Who else do we have on this cast? I don't like Heather's friend. And is that it?
I believe
I feel
so.
like I'm missing somebody. I feel like I'm missing. Who am I missing? Oh, Whitney's friend. We don't even know her. So, but yeah, so far I'm liking Bronwyn, and y'all know I'm always love Mary. Mary's one of my favorite housewives, so I'm always gonna be here for Mary. Mary ain't doing shit that's problematic yet, so we'll see. But yeah, so far I like Bronwyn. That's my girl. So we'll see how this goes, y'all. I'm gonna recap this season. Hopefully, it's not a snooze fest. This opening episode was okay. It wasn't bad, and we'll see what happens with this storyline. But thank you guys for watching. This is your boy James. So you're watching my reviews. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to both channels as I will be picking up this show, and I'm gonna be wrapping up Real Housewives of Dubai Reunion Part 2 next. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.